Hello everyone and welcome to the first video on the YouTube channel, the Supercoach YouTube channel, where today I will be going through my team post opening round just before the start of the regular season in just under 2 days now. We have been waiting a long time for the official season to start and we are right around the corner. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the team. That's what you guys are here for. And starting off at D1, none other than Jack Sinclair. I've been tossing up between Naz and Sinclair for most of the preseason, with Naz moving into the midfield and potentially up forward. That leaves the back line for Sinclair on his own. We know what he can do when he's got that backline to himself. He takes most of the kick-ins, runs around the back, gets the cheap ball, and can really hit up a target downfield. We can even see him push forward and kick goals as well, and that's why he scored 143 in the first opening round this season. Naz was tagged heavily by Harry Perryman, and I think we're going to see a lot more tags for him this year, and his output will slightly decrease, and I think Sinclair is just the better option at the moment. Not saying Naz is a bad choice, just I prefer Sinclair right now. At D2, Connor Rosie, no real explanation needed. 65% owned. A lot of coaches also see him as a top liner in the back line. Port have a very soft run to start with, starting off with North Melbourne, and we saw what he and Butters did to West Coast in the practice match. They went over 140 each, I think. So, he's just locked and loaded, put him there, and forget those two for the rest of the season. At D3, I'm not 100% sold on this pick. I want to see... I'd love to see how he went in a practice match, but we don't exactly get to see that. He hasn't played any of the preseason matches with his broken hand. I obviously didn't have opening round to play in, so I think we just got to go off his talent. We saw what he did the back end of last season when he went back to the back line and he racked up the cheap pill, was getting 20, 25, 30 touches a game, tunning up in Supercoach, and that's what we want to see. So just got to hope that he gets that same role. If he does, then I think we can lock him away as one of the top liners. If not, there's a few other players around his price that we can always sideways to if we need to. At D4, again, not fully sold on this guy either. We know Coleman, he can play similar to McKercher. He did it at the back end of 2023, especially in that grand final against Collingwood. If he can get back to somewhat of that form, he's definitely worth more than 233k. He's obviously missed the last 2 seasons with ACLs, so bit of conditioning needed, bit of match fitness, probably some confidence as well. Watching him run around an opening round, he didn't look like he had the intensity to go after the ball. Never really been a high accumulator, more just damaging by foot. So hopefully he can get on the outside a bit, get in a few chains up the ground, score involvements. They're worth a lot of points in Supercoach. So we're just hoping that he can get back to somewhat of his best, make a couple 100k and move him on to a premium. And that's it for the mid prices in the back line as well. So now we start bringing in a few rookies, starting with Sam Grill from Richmond. Has a DPP mid defense, which can be handy. Had a really good under 18s playing with the Oakley Chargers. He's a very quick player, very competitive, gets quite a bit of the ball, but his areas to work on are his composure. He seems to blaze away, so if he can get that under control, he could be quite a good rookie for us. I think we just lock him away. He's 70% is he own. I think he's a high owned rookie as well, so 62%. Most coaches have him if he goes sideways. We're just in the same boat as everyone else, but he has that DPP that we can move him onto the bench if we need to. Next up is Jai Sarong from Sydney. Obviously traded from Hawthorn this off-season. Showed in the opening round and the pre-season that he can push up onto a wing as well and not just be that defender. At Hawthorn, won the last 2 VFL best and fairest, so he's obviously got the skill, the talent. Sydney identified that, brought him in, and he's shown glimpses of being quite a good player and also a Supercoach scorer. So, yeah, we love that. A great mark, has very clean hands for a taller player. Doesn't accumulate a lot of the ball, but against Carlton in that first half was probably one of their better players, if not their best at the time. So, very promising signs from Jai Sarong. On the bench in the back line, we start with West Coast Josh Lindsay, a Geelong product. We know Geelong Falcons produce quite a lot of players that go directly to Geelong, and they end up being quite good AFL players. So hoping Josh Lindsay can do the same over at West Coast. His decision making is elite coming out of the back line, already taking kick-ins in the preseason games and intra-club matches way back. Feels like a long time ago now. His footy IQ is up there. Makes really good decisions. He sees the game really well. Most of his game is outside game. Doesn't really have that much of a contested game, so most of his points will be uncontested. So really going to need to hit those targets to score points. And he's not the fastest player going around, but if he can just get those cheap ball, hit his targets, have a high disposal efficiency, probably can score quite well, and the ball's going to be down West Coast backline quite a bit. So, yeah, really happy with that pick as well. And to finish out the backline is Lockie Jakes from Bulldogs. Wasn't really on anyone's radar a month or so ago, and then a report came out that someone said to watch out for this guy during one of their intra-club matches. Then he was playing in the preseason games, played in the AAMI Community Series, and was named opening round for a debut along with Michael Selwood. Lockie Jakes did look to be the better of the two. Michael Selwood seems to be more of a lockdown defender as opposed to Jakes, who's more of a running, rebounding defender, which is a dream role for Supercoach. Pushes higher up the ground. Looks really composed at the level as well for such a young kid. And yeah, I think he's going to be a great pick. Bevo loves playing these rookie guys. He does move them in and out of the side, so we got to hope that Jakes holds longer than Selwood, or I got to hope that anyway. But I think both of them will have stints in and out of the team. But an 84 already for Jakes and a 77 for Sarong as well. They're just going to kickstart their cash gen from round 1 already, which we love to see. Moving on into the midfield. I mentioned his name before, but M1 Zach Butters, I think he's going to be M1 come the end of the year. I think this is the year that we finally see the Bont dethroned. Contract year for Zach Butters. He absolutely dominated against West Coast, albeit it is West Coast, in the AAMI Community Series. I think he's just going to take his game to a next level this year. He's going to demand a very high price. Port Adelaide are going to have to give him an open check and let him sign as many zeros as he wants. Otherwise, I do see him moving clubs at the end of the year. But lock in Zach Butters, M1, end of the year. And a great captain option for the first month. Like I said, has a really soft fixture. So just one that we all lock away. Forget about him and move on to the next pick, which is Nick Dacos. I was a bit sceptical coming into this season about Dacos with his calf injury. Had it heavily strapped during trainings. I think it was now, in hindsight, just precautionary, just getting him through, getting him ready for round 1, opening round against the Saints, which we saw a couple of days ago, which, didn't he just light up the field, 41 touches, just was running everywhere, no real attention from the Saints, and it just showed that if you don't put a heavy tag on him, he's going to tear you up. and that's the only downside is look at what he did opening round. Do teams now? Is he just going to cop a tag every week? If you don't tag him, he's going to make you pay, and Collingwood still look to give him the ball. So I think you've just got to pick him. I love watching him play. I think he's going to be one of the best players of the year again. And yeah, I'm just going to lock him, pick him, enjoy watching him play, and hopefully make a few 120 pluses out of Nick Dacos. M3, this guy's come into my side recently. I've made a few changes here and there, and able to make way for the next player at M3, which is Caleb Sarong. I think he's underpriced for what he can do. We've seen him in the past go bigger than a 105 average. I think he can push up to that 110, 115 again. Fremantle don't have the early buy, which, as you can see from players like Sinclair, Coleman, Sarong, Dacos, I've already got a few of these players that have the early buy. So I want to try and get a few more that don't, just to spread that out a little bit more. And that's why Caleb Sarong comes into the team. I think he's going to outdo Andy Brayshaw this year. Last year, Brayshaw seemed to get more of the points and Sarong copped more attention. I think Sarong's going to work through that tag a lot more than he did last year. With Hayden Young coming into the side as well, there's more eyes for other teams to be aware of. And I think Sarong, we saw what he did in the Origin match, and he just looks to be running on top of the ground, dominating. I've actually just realised I've got both Sarong brothers, so that's quite funny. I'm really happy with the Sarong pick. And again, I just like watching Sarong play, the way he goes about it. So, lock him in. M4, Errol Goulden. He has not left my side since Supercoach opened. 566k, definitely underpriced for what he can do. We saw him tear it up in the third quarter against Carlton. He was everywhere. Was enormous in all of the scoring chains. Just the way he just gets the ball on the outside. He's lethal left foot. He's just a gem to watch. I think he's going to be one of the best players at the end of the season. Definitely a top 8 mid, and he may even be the cheapest he will be all season right now. So I'm locking away Errol Goulden. He will not be leaving, even with these little injury scares. Again, like Dacos, I think they're just making sure he's right for round 1, which he looked really good in opening round. So, locked him away. And similar is M5 in Sam Walsh. Again, has that slight back scare, but I think they were just getting him right for opening round. So again, 543k, I think it's underpriced. We saw what he did in opening round and in the community series, racking up possessions for fun. Doesn't look to be showing any signs of the back injury, sprinting out of packs, getting inside and outside ball. I think he's going to be another one of those players that is undervalued. 543k may be the cheapest we get him as well. And a 114 already in the score. I think he's going to, kickstart that cash gen, and we probably won't get him cheaper. Only priced at 100 average. I think he's going to be pushing that 110 average. So, happy with those 5 primos in the midfield. A common theme, I think, Sarong, Goulden, Walsh, they're all underpriced, undervalued, and Dacos and Butters are just top uber premiums that can set and forget captain options week in, week out. So moving more into the mid prices now, I've got a very popular selection. Hayden Young, 48% of teams. Priced at 389k, definitely unders for what he can do if he can stay healthy and stay out on the park. I think he's going to be one of the best value picks of the season. Again, doesn't have that early buy. A good fixture. Sarong and Brayshaw will probably cop all the attention, which leaves Hayden Young to just be damaging. More of an offensive player. That long left foot he's got, hits targets, gets involved in scoring chains, all the things we love to see to score Supercoach points. So, really like the Hayden Young pick as long as he stays healthy. if he gets injured, we can just sideways or potentially upgrade him to another player. So, really happy with that pick. And similarly, another highly owned player, Darcy Parish, 44% of teams, priced at $334K. Similar to Hayden Young, just very underpriced, undervalued, and looks to be, by all reports, back to his best form in that midfield. It's him and Merritt, and then it drops off to sort of your Caldwells and your Durham. So I think he slots straight back in at M2 for the Bombers, and his price will only increase in value from there. So again, lock him away, no early buy, nothing to worry about. And that's the mid prices done for the midfield. Moving on to a few rookies, we're starting with Jagger Smith. Didn't have the best game on the weekend against Sydney, but then again, no one from Carlton really did in the second half. But in the AAMI Community Series and in the preseason, we saw just what he can do. Has always been an accumulator of the football, has such clean hands. His decision making and his first step evasiveness is off the charts already for not only a rookie but just anyone in the game. I think missing last year with an ACL is actually going to do him a world of good in the long run. It gave him a chance to see the game from another perspective, and yeah, he's already a star. Carlton very lucky to have him. Just hope that his body does hold up, which I think it will. An unlucky injury, really, but yeah, Jagger Smith, the highest owned player in Supercoach right now, so no surprise that he's in my team. Bench options, start with Dyson Sharp from the Bombers, a competitive, contested player, so someone that's going to get in and under, which Essendon are crying out for. So I think he can jump straight into the team. He's a bull. He tackles. He's got great strength for a young fella. And he was also the captain of the South Australian under-18s team from memory. So already showing the leadership at a young age. I think he's just going to slide in. Maybe a bit of a slow burn initially, but if you hold him for the long run, I think he's going to show massive signs of improvement throughout the season. And Essendon just, again, need to keep playing these young guys, get some games, get some time into them, and they'll only improve from there out. So Dyson Sharp locked away on the bench. And next to him, Finn McRae, hoping that he gets a game. He's not guaranteed to get a game, but if he does, he's got that forward mid DPP, which can really help come the early buys time. So that's pretty much the only reason he's in there right now. If he doesn't get a game, there is a few other guys I can sideways to. So very selection dependent. Didn't quite get a crack at it at Collingwood. Moved to West Coast for opportunity. Has done all right in the opening round, in the AAMI Community Series and the practice match. His time on ground isn't great, and that's probably going to be something that is consistent going forward. So don't expect massive scores from him. Just hope he's playing, hope he's out there. And yeah, that DPP is the most important part from him. But if he's not named, we just move him to someone else. And the last pick, finishing out the midfield, is Tom Blamires, I think his name is, or Blamires. I'm not 100% sure how to say it, but just came onto the scene in that AAMI Community Series. A late SSP signing came from Frankston Dolphins, where he won the Fothergill Round Mitchell Medal for the best and most promising young talent in the VFL competition. So along the lines of players like Sam Davidson, Jacob Riccardi, Bailey Fritsch, Luke Ryan, Nick Newman, just to name a few, that have all gone on to play AFL. So a good sign that he may have a career in the AFL. Only $99K basement price. Looked really good off that half-back line. Only worry is McKercher wasn't playing, Riley Hardeman didn't play, so just got to hope he holds. If he does, just leave him at on your bench in the midfield, and over time he'll eventually just grow in price and hopefully can do what Tom McCarthy did last year. Wouldn't that be nice? So moving into the ruck line, this is by far the hardest line of the season for me. I have no idea, and I still have no idea whether to go 2 premium ruckman or just the one. I'm definitely locking in Tim English as one of them. At 600k, he's the cheapest of all these uber premiums, I guess we can call these ruckmen, like your Max Gorns, your Tristan Sherrys, Brody Grundy. He's 70, 80, 90k cheaper than these guys. I think the value in that is too much to pass up early, especially with these new ruck rules being just a ball up instead of a bounce, a bit more consistent, not being able to cross the line too early. So less of a wrestle, more of a ruck. I think Tim English is a bit more of a mobile ruckman. That probably benefits him more than it does a Gorn, Cherry or Grundy. Less stoppages around the ground and umpires not waiting for ruckman may play into the more mobile ruckman's favour. Again, that favours Tim English. So I think at 600k, he's worth getting a 117 already in his scoring bag from opening round. I think we just locked Tim English away, and it's really this R2 spot that has me very, very confused and frustrated. And I still don't know where to go, and I probably won't know where to go for another 2 days. So right now, I have fallen on Lachie McAndrew, the rookie selection. I just don't love any of the other high-priced ruckman as much. I do really like Grundy, but 680k, I just can't pay 680k for a ruckman that I think is going to come down under 600 at some point. Same with Cherry, same with Gorn. I don't trust Luke Jackson in the role. I think his scoring is going to be very up and down. You're going to have the high highs and the low lows, and I don't want to ride that roller coaster. Darcy Cameron, I think, is actually a really solid pick and a good pod at 6%. I just don't think he's going to be a top 2 ruckman come the end of the year, and I'd rather have the ability to get a top 2 ruckman. I think English will be one of them. I personally think Grundy will be the other, and I'd rather just wait for Grundy's price to come down before I get him. The other option is Tom de Koning at 15% owned, but he's 524k, so again, really cheap. I think the rules definitely suit him. I think he'll benefit a lot. But from a 97 average, is he going to average that much more? Probably not, especially with Rowan Marshall in the team. It does look like de Koning is playing that 70-80% split in the ruck, so he does have the majority of it. But there's always time where Marshall may go in there, match-up dependent. I just don't fully trust it. So I've landed on McAndrew. Comes from the Sandful last year, I believe, where he averaged 97 or thereabouts. So already proven that he can score. That's all we need him to do is just to score. If he could score a 97 a week, then fantastic. There's my easy upgrade to Grundy. Does look like he's been favoured over Riley O'Brien. But Adelaide could very easily, and Matty Nix could very easily just swap that at any time. So that is a big risk that we run into. And with him on the ground, it means we need another rookie on the bench. And I don't love any of them. I don't love Callum Coleman-Jones's role or job security or his injury history. I don't love Mitch Edwards' job security at all. I don't even think he's going to play that much. He didn't play an opening round, and Geelong went in with Mark Blitzers as their number 1 ruckman, and he is not a ruckman. So already proving that they don't even want to run a ruckman. Liam Reedy does not look good at all in this role. He's clearly behind Mark Pittonet. It's not even a 50-50 split. It's like a 70-80% in Pittonet's favour. And Reedy's not a forward, not a backman. He doesn't do much else. So I don't think he's going to be playing very often at all. Carlton may even just go and drop him altogether and use Harry Mackay as a backup ruckman. So I don't love the pick. Zach Ostelski looked quite good, actually. I think he's the best looking ruckman of the crop, but with Sam Draper only a couple of weeks away, it's a clear swap that he's out of the team, and then they run Darcy Fort and Sam Draper as the two ruckmen. So unfortunately, with this McAndrew at R2, I have to pick someone. At the moment, I'm just going to go Reedy. He's got DPP, but with round one team selections, it'll be literally whoever's named. So I'm not holding my breath on that. At least I have the ability to move him forward in the future. If I need to move McAndrew to the bench and bring in an R2, I can do that. I just need to get enough games out of McAndrew and Reedy, and that's the biggest risk. So that's the reason I don't necessarily love the ruck line. I don't want the two rookies, and I don't want another premium. So yeah, that's the risk that we run. Just got to hope it pays off. So enough of the ruck line. Let's move on to the forward line. This is probably the most generic forward line. You've probably seen it 100 times already from every other coach. So I'll just run through very quickly. Harry Sheasel, F1, already is and will be the only player, it looks like, in the forward line to average over 100 last season. Will be the only player this season. Probably not, but I still think he'll be F1. He's just running to the midfield at North, and they really have no one else. So lock away Sheasel. F2, Petrarca, looked unreal in opening round. 170 score, the highest score of opening round from any player, any team. Just looks to be having fun again. Looks to be enjoying playing football. I think he's benefiting from being in a better team already. Seemed to be over all of those injury issues, and just looked unreal running through that midfield, through the forward line. Clear F1, F2 for the rest of the year, and to get him at 520k price point, if you don't get him now, you may never get him. So lock him away, lock Sheasel away. F1, F2, and F3 is Sammy Flanders. Didn't look the best on the weekend against Collingwood, but at 390k, playing full-time midfield, he's going to go up in price, he's going to go up in value, and his scoring will do better than 77. I think he didn't touch the ball till almost the end of the first quarter, if not the second quarter. So a very slow start, still put out a 77. Will be one of his lowest scores for the season. So lock him in and throw away the key on that one. So moving to F4, this player has recently come into my side as well, not purely based on opening round, but largely because of it, and it is Connor Buderick. Fantastic from the halfback line, especially in that last quarter. Took majority of the kick-ins from the Bulldogs over Bailey Dale, and every kick-in hit the target. He even followed up, got the 1-2 off the player he kicked the 2, and then hit the second target, and was a real catalyst in that game. Just a great ball user. We've seen what the Bulldogs can do with the small defenders like a Caleb Daniel. They can score in these roles. And at 245k, I think Connor Buderick is going to stay in the team and be a really good on-field option for us as well. He's already scored a 105. His price is going to go up. And I think he's going to keep scoring high scores if he stays in this role. He is a better ball user than Bailey Dale, I think. And that's saying something because Bailey Dale is not a bad ball user at all. But yeah, I just really liked the way he played, had a monopoly of the kickouts, played on from all of them, if not, maybe all of them bar one. And yeah, just found the pill. His teammates look for him, and it's such a good ball user. So yeah, really happy to lock him away on field. Next to him, Mateus Philippou. Unlucky last few seasons with injury. Again, that's going to be his story of the year. Can he stay healthy? If he can, he's playing that midfield role as well. at 168k will definitely go up in value. Has really good job security. His upside is there. Him and Flanders seem to be two of the mainstays in the midfield. Only a 66 in opening round, but we're not using him for the quick cash grab, so he'll be staying there for a while, probably to the bye rounds. And yeah, his scoring output will improve from there. Next to him, last player on field in the forward line is Dev Robertson from West Coast. Scored almost a ton, 97 in the AAMI Community Series. Just really hard for him to get into the Brisbane team in the last couple of years. They're just such a stacked midfield with Neil, Dunkley, the Ashcroft brothers, McCluggage. Just such a stacked midfield, and he was always behind them. When he got his opportunities, he didn't shy away from them. And I think at West Coast, where he's one of the main midfielders, he'll get a lot more of the ball. Contested player in and under. I think, we lock him away as an on-field option at basement price 119, 900k. So lock him away. And moving on to the next two, the bench spots. Todd Marshall from Port Adelaide moved down back this season, coming off an injury, which is surprising to me because I thought he was one of their better forwards. I don't know if they're still going with the likes of obviously Georgiades, but I thought Marshall was the second forward. Obviously not so, but looked all right as the intercepting defender. I think he's going to have good games and he's going to have not so good games. So leave him on the bench. Slow burn. Again, has a soft fixture early, so hopefully they just play kick to kick a little bit in the back line and Marshall can get a few points. And hopefully the opposition can just butcher the ball. Marshall can intercept Mark, get a few points for us early, and we can move him on to another player later onwards. But we'll just see how this one goes. The forward line's not the worst rookie crop, so if we need to move him on, we can. But we'll just leave him on the bench for now. And the other forward line player is Leo Lombard, very explosive player from Gold Coast, was one of their academy picks a couple of years ago, and has a very high work rate. This guy just does not stop trying. In the game on the weekend against the Cats, I believe, multiple times just fending players off. He's not scared of contests, is not shy whatsoever. One play on the wing where he turned back into the contest just to fend the guy off and then inside 50 kick. So, I think he's a great player to watch. Can hit the score back, very explosive, has a good endurance as well. So, like watching him play. He scored a 70 early on, so locked that away for his cash gen. And the final player in this current team is Tanner Bruhn from Geelong. Wasn't sold on this pick until recently as well. Really the AAMI Community Series. We know he has the talent from when he was drafted. He was a high draft pick, high prospect pick. A few off-field issues that's kept him away from football and out of the team. He's back now and looks hungrier than ever. He wants the pill. When he gets it, he's damaging with it. He's explosive, bursting out of packs. Looks like a mini Dangerfield out there, and that's big raps on him. So, scored a 91 early, priced at 276k. I think he's just going to be a good scorer off that halfback and push into the midfield. I wasn't sold on him until I watched him play, I think he's going to be a solid option there at that mid price. So. That's how my team is currently sitting. There's obviously room to change based off round one selections. It's a team you've probably all seen before. If you look at the overall ownerships, I'm pretty sure I have, look at that. I have 23. The top 23 owned players are all in this side. The only one that's not is Naz. So... Again, a pretty stock standard team. It does seem like a lot of teams this season are very similar. but it's the game's won through trading, through captains, through loopholes. It's not your opening round team that wins you the game. It's a long season, plenty of trades, plenty of injuries, plenty of Supercoach to be had. So, we're locking away this team for right now. If we go for, let's just save the team. Looking at the early fixture for captain, vice captain, obviously it's going to be hard to get the loophole right just because I'm going for a strategy that has all 30 players playing in opening round. So unless my vice captain pulls out a 200 and I need to get those points early, I won't be having a loophole. So for that case, we're going to run with Zach Butters as captain against North Melbourne on the Sunday. And for a vice captain, might run Nick, who's already set up like that, against Adelaide on the Saturday night. If not, I may go for a Walsh on the Thursday night to give myself the most time to decide whether I want to go for the vice captain option or not. But we'll line up something like that for now. Again, once teams come out tomorrow night. Tomorrow night for the Carlton-Richmond game and Thursday for the rest of the weekend games. Rookies may change. The premiums are probably all going to stay the same. My biggest issues with this team is currently Liam Reedy and Kitty Coleman. I'm just not sold on either of those two. Even Colby McKercher, not 100% sold on those three. The rest of them I'm pretty happy with. But let's just hope they all get named first. And yeah, we're looking for a good season, I think. Super excited that Supercoach is back, and yeah, the first video of this YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys can stick around for the season. Leave us a like if you can. Subscribe down below. Thinking of doing face cam if we get to 100 subscribers. If we can get there, I'll start doing the face cam videos for you all. I know they're a bit more entertaining, but just want to get the channel up and running first. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. And it's been a long video, nearly 40 minutes already, but thank you all. Good luck for the season, and we'll see you in the next one.